baggers on the right. They know I'm beating Kamala. This race won't even be tied. Her policies are nutso. She's out her goddamn mind. She just repeats the same thing, regurgitating her lines. She thinks that immigration without paperwork is good. Clearly not too much power underneath Kamala's hood. Borders are, it's what you are. Borders are, borders are. Cackling Kamala, you're dumb. Mass inflation imminent if she weasels herself in. If that don't sound like fun to you, then you better help me win. I promise I'll secure you, you'll be in better hands. It'd be a flippin' free-for-all with what Kamala plans. Borders are, it's what you are. Borders are, borders are. Laugh it up, Kamala. This lady, she's cackling crazy.
What do you think? Great intro, huh? I was thinking about switching it up. Oh, what are we at? 1:30 p.m. 2:30 Central Time. Hopefully everybody's having a good day today. Let's check on the Fear and Greed Index and see where we're sitting. 62. Is it still 62? Wow. Okay. That's pretty miraculous. Let's see how everything is going here. Let me pull up over here. We'll look at some Bitcoin. Not doing too bad. Close to 70K. I'm going to call that a win. Might as well just drop this down. Who even cares at this point? So, wow. We're going to make so much money. All right, let's look at miners real quick here. And then we'll go from there. 17.5%. Oh, wow. I'm glad I bought iron the other day. I have like 180. Well, I had 180. It's up almost 20%. So I don't know what that is now. HUD 8 up almost 17. Bitfarms 14. CleanSpark 11 and a quarter. Mara 11 and a quarter. Wolf almost 11. Riot 10 plus. Bit Digital 10 plus. MicroStrategy 10 plus. Cypher 4.63. Do you see why I kept saying that it doesn't really matter what you own? They're all going to go up a lot. And they'll just take turns. So yeah, we're getting close to 70. That seems like a pretty good number. Dropping. I'm not worried about it, David. I think you've got post-traumatic stress disorder. So you're going to get over it. It's up 2.35% on the day. Dropping isn't really a term I would use. Beautiful volume shelf underneath of us. It's only going to get better. Let's see. We didn't look at the whole watch list. Let's or was that the whole watch list? Maybe it was. No, that was just miners. Let's go to the whole thing. Let's go down here. I got to make a bunch more of these. That's an objective. Another of many. Now, I'm still sure the miners are near the top. MSTU, rocking the day. Iron, MSTX. Soul Strategies came back. This thing was down like 5% earlier. I've got to figure out where I can actually trade it. It sounds like there's a couple of places. I don't know. Maybe I'll try it. Maybe I won't. Doesn't really matter. We're making so much money. Look at this. Hood, 3.31. ARCG, up 3% finally. We got a lot of charts to look at. Doge, 8.5%. That's pretty cool. SoFi, 2%. PayPal, 2%. DLO, 2%. It's pretty much like Oprah just giving out money to stocks today. And you get some profits. And you get some profits. Tomorrow is going to be a great day. I think it's tomorrow, right? Let's take a look here. Earnings calendar. Let's see, tomorrow morning, PayPal and SoFi. We'll be primarily focused on PayPal, but we will take a look at SoFi just for the fuck of it. So that'll be fun. And then Google's coming out too. So tomorrow will be a pretty big day. Economic calendar, I showed this a little bit earlier. It does pick up. If we look over here, let's see, Dallas Fed. If you missed this earlier, this was actually a really great number. I mean, it was lower than forecast. It was forecast negative 0.1, but we got negative 3. Now, why is that not a big deal? Let me refresh and see if I can get it to actually pull up. When you've been in negative territory in the manufacturing index for the Dallas Fed, and Dallas is the one I'm most interested in, because if there's an economy that's going to recover first in the United States of America, it will be Texas or Florida. If there's a state, it's going to be one of those two. And so it's beautiful to see, especially Texas. It's going to be Texas. We got Elon there now. So it's beautiful to see that, this is the highest level we've been at since April of 2022, 2.5 years ago. So almost 2.5, real close. So we should be happy about that. 27 months is a long time, and this is marking a rebound. We'll see if it can follow through into positive territory, but man, it's a good sign. It's actually hopeful. So we like that. We had the Treasury refunding financing estimates. I can't pull those up right now, but I'm sure it doesn't matter. I'll take a look at it later and see. If we look at exports for Hong Kong, I didn't cover this earlier, but exports underperformed, I think, again in Hong Kong. We had that COVID bounce, and then we went down, and then we had a little bit of a resurgence. But man, I don't think Hong Kong's coming back out of this next one. I think it's just going to go negative and stay negative, honestly. But what was it forecast at? It was forecast, or actual was 4.7. There is no forecast because we just don't do that anymore in China. We just get rid of all the data. If you don't like it, make it go away. Nobody can care. We got a lower high over here too, again after the pandemic, and I think it's going real negative, like real negative. Probably at least to test 28. This is a W bottom at best. In all honesty, I'm not hopeful about China at all. They're gonna have to suck up to the United States a lot if Trump wins. Otherwise, they're just toast. But economic data, not too big of a deal. We got some more tomorrow. Dallas Fed, housing, JOLTS, just a lot of stuff, along with a crazy amount of earnings. So tomorrow's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's just going to be a continuation of the rally. And again, when you're still in greed territory, but 62, to put this in perspective, just look at this. We were over here, and I've made over $1 million, maybe 1.2 now, from here all the way down to here, and then right over to here. So this is crazy. We were at 61 in the greed. We almost went down to neutral. And like I said before, look at this 6-month range where we were just bullish as all get out. I think that's happening again. Clean Spark. People are happy about their shit coins and Bitcoin miners today. Well, I mean, really Bitcoin miners, right? That's what took off. Bitcoin miners, and MicroStrategy is the biggest Bitcoin miner of them all. So it's been an exciting day. Smash that like. You can if you want. It's totally, with this wicked intro that we had, I think you have to, right? Can't get enough of this.
From the wackos on the left to the magas on the right.
Pretty killer.
They know I'm beating Kamala. This race won't even be tied.
Anyway, he is too. But all right, let's go over here. Let's look at other stuff. So again, we got all that out of the way. I haven't looked at the CME Fed Watch tool in a while. Let's see how we're doing in the bond market, and if we're still getting at least 2 rate cuts, November and December. I think that's a gimme. January is a little more questionable, but boy, almost 97% probability for November. That seems pretty good. Almost 70% for December. That feels pretty good. Then we turn into coin toss territory, where we're doing 2 cuts, 1 cut, or no cuts. So that seems about fair. I think this is good. So we know November and December. That's a total of what? 100 bips. That's a lot of cuts. That would be a decent place for a pause, in all honesty. I don't think that would be the end of the world. I haven't looked at this in a while. What's this sitting like? Trump is winning by 0.2. He's winning the national popular poll on Real Clear polling. And Biden was at 7.5 at the same time in history. So he's got a 7.7 advantage across a number of pollsters, showing that he's doing well. And there's a couple that you always want to avoid. Quinnipiac isn't great. Morning Consult, Bloomberg, they're trash. There's a few others that are off. Atlas Intel is really great. There's a few others that I think CNN. I think some of these others are trying to go more the middle of the road so they don't look bad later. Wall Street Journal probably isn't totally off. Rasmussen is pretty good too. Sometimes they're overly bullish towards the conservatives. But this is good. And if you look at the states, it's even better. I don't know how Arizona's 1.5 now. Look at that. The blue is just off of Arizona. That's insane. Nevada shouldn't be that good. Oh my God, he's winning in Nevada by 0.7. And again, Bloomberg is bullshit. When you see Bloomberg and you see any Morning Consult, it's the same. It's Michael Bloomberg, guys. And he tells them, forge it, do whatever you need to do. These guys could be off by double digits, by 10 points sometimes in their surveys. So they're not even worth it. But again, Rasmussen, Atlas Intel for a tie tells me that this one's probably still pretty close. Wisconsin, 0.3. And again, the most recent ones are coming in pretty good. Atlas Intel had these guys at 1, though, so this is probably a pretty contentious state. Michigan, Biden was up by 8.6, and Trump is up by 0.1 right now. And again, Quinnipiac, complete bullshit. Bloomberg, bullshit. So you take out these really trashy polls here, and you have a substantial win in Michigan. That's surprising. And then Pennsylvania, again, take out Bloomberg. So he's probably 1 point up or whatever. Biden was 3.8. How did the race actually end? In the end, he was up by 1.2, and polling said 1.2. So polling was actually pretty good in this one. But again, at this time in history, he was up by 3.8. If anything, I think Trump has the advantage where it's going to roll higher into him because he has the momentum. So this will probably be a pretty clear victory for Republicans without a lot of cheating, which they're going to try. But I just don't think it's going to work. North Carolina up by 0.8. Again, have they done anything for the people of North Carolina? Is there really much happening there from the government? I doubt it. So Biden was up by 0.7. Trump's up by 0.8. What was the final result? Trump won by 1.3. So 1.1 biased in the wrong direction. So we can add that 1.1 onto whatever Trump has right now in 2024. And that gives us an almost 2-point advantage in North Carolina. Let's look at Georgia. Georgia looks like a win. So, wow. Yeah, he's doing good in this one. October 2020, it says tie. Let me click on it real quick here. So the Real Clear polling average had Trump winning it by 1, but Biden won it by 0.3. So in this case, he would still be winning. Maybe it's a 1-point advantage versus last time, or 1.5 points, but he's still winning here too. So I don't know, guys. It seems by the day that his campaign is getting stronger. That's the area I'm leaning towards. All right, let me look at comments. I haven't really done a good job on that. Let me pull some up here. What do you guys want to talk about today? Anything fun happening? Tesla retracing into close. 69.8 almost on Bitcoin. I should probably put this down in the corner. Let me just do some finagling. Let me finagle. We'll put this thing down in the corner. We'll get this up and running. Yeah, Bitcoin is looking pretty strong into the close, honestly. Bitcoin's looking real strong. We'll look at Tesla in a second here. I think maybe the whole market is starting to bounce a little bit into the close. That's my guess. All right, let's just look here. I better zoom in more on this one. So again, I'm just going to take this out of here. We know it's going to 92. This is a good number. This is a real great way to close the day for Bitcoin here. I'm going to save this, and then we're going to go ahead and look at Tesla. Let's go back up here. Oh, I didn't want to launch it there. 1 second. There we go. So Tesla down 2.34%. Hey, that's fine. That actually totally makes sense. Didn't we talk about this earlier? If we didn't talk about it here, I talked about it in a post. So if you look over here, look at our breakout zone where I've got the inverse head and shoulders. If I look at this on the daily even, you can kind of see where they are. Well, look, all we're doing is back testing that, guys. We're just back testing the previous candle bodies to try and find support. And I think we're going to clearly launch off of it. Now, am I buying any here? No, I've still got like $1.25 million in Tesla options. Feel pretty good. But again, I did pick up some TLT today. And just getting cash, just in case. Maybe I'll buy some tomorrow. I don't know. I think everything's going up. It's just a matter of being patient. All right. So yeah, 2.24. You can call that retracing. I call it back testing. That's what I call it. And actually, if we move this up, really, all of these are the exact same zone. I mean, really close. This one technically is just a little bit higher. But I mean, that's like pretty good candle body stuff right there. So we're back testing that perfectly. Be very happy. It's all good in the hood, or in this case, Tesla. And we're off to 490 in short order. All right. Let's save that. Look at news-related events here. We've got the close in about 30 minutes. I'm sorry, 45 minutes. Tell us more when you like, yeah, Soul Strategies. I'll let you know. I need to actually spend some time on it. If somebody else does, throw it in the Discord. I don't know if anybody's really talked about Soul Strategies yet. Do you guys have anything you were talking about with it? Let's see here. C's. And you can search in the top right corner too. That's a good way to do it. All right, so we got some James Invest Answers stuff. I've been buying for Schwab for weeks. So not too much content under this one. I do have the chart in here as well. But it's looking pretty quiet. I did just put it in here though, like the other day. So maybe this one, I don't know. Maybe you guys are waiting on me. Is that what's happening? I'll work on it. All right, Shale. Let me see. I'll go a little higher. Michael Fan, do you think Tesla and SpaceX will accumulate more Bitcoin? Nah. I do think that Microsoft might, though. Lim Jing Yun, can you take a look at Amazon calls later? Feeling quite bullish going into earnings. Yeah, we can take a look. I don't like playing calls for earnings because here's why I don't like it, Jim. And maybe this is why we won't look at it. So when you're playing calls into earnings or puts, you're doing it at the time of most excitement. So you're going to be kind of inflated on either side of the trade and have a certain implied volatility. So it's better to do those kind of trades and to buy or to sell when there is no interest. That's the time you want to do it. You don't want to do it now. At least that's not the way I work. So I don't generally try and assist people in doing short-term trades. Again, I do leaps for a reason. That's just me. Shale, Stanley Druckenmiller and Paul Tudor Jones believe that interest rates may rise for an extended period. This suggests that further rate cuts are unlikely. No, it does not. So, first off, some of their theses are on American exceptionalism not doing well, and I don't think that's true. Even though I love Paul Tudor Jones, he's a hero of mine. He's probably my favorite trader ever. And Stanley Druckenmiller is a brilliant investor, and his short the bond trade turned out really well. I think it's an overcrowded trade right now. That's why I was buying TLT today. But yeah, it doesn't have to mean that. It will be in the 3%, but you still get to a neutral rate, and we won't be near that, right? So if we cut November and December, which we will do, and then we might pause in January. I don't think that would be out of place at all. If we pause in January, we're still pausing at a level of what, 425? Am I right here? Yeah, 425. So if we pause, we're between 425 and 450 bips. So this is still a pretty high rate, and we're going to keep dropping it lower than that. Again, the neutral, in my opinion, is maybe like 3.5. So we could still go another 75 bips next year. So we'll continue to get rate cuts. TLT, it's just a 20-year bond trade, Rambler. It's really just me putting in a little cash. I put it on, you should have it in Discord, and you should have it also over here on X, where I post 2 subscribers with my trades. So let me just pull it up here real quick, and we'll take a look. Should be in here somewhere, my portfolio probably. And again, I sold some Tesla, and then I bought TLT. Did I buy MU too? I bought MU too. So about like 7K in MU, and then I sold 12,000 in Tesla calls, and then I bought about 12,000 in TLT. Again, it's just a hedged cash position that I think is bottomed. So, kind of doing that. I'm up about 150K today. It looks like most of that PayPal. I'm officially profitable in PayPal. I'm even profitable in PayPal, guys, under just the main account. Look at this, 1.41%. Even though Tesla lost me 66K today, PayPal made 55, and then a bunch of the miners outperformed. CleanSpark made me 44. So it was just a really good day, all in all. And across all the accounts, I'm sitting at about 150. And this one, well, about 140 maybe. And this one, I was up about 111. It hasn't settled yet, so we'll have to see on that. But still, just a great day, guys, across the board. Let's keep going. Dario, MicroStrategy, can we take a look, talk about our strategies for next year? Yes, sell high. We can talk about that, though. I want to do something else, though. Let's real quickly. We'll go over the economic data. We'll look at a few other things. We'll look at Bitcoin. We'll look at Tesla. and all the others. Did we already cover? No, we did this pretty good. I'll just highlight. So essentially, we're in a period where the market outperforms historically. It does this for election purposes. That's the bottom image, and it does that for seasonality up here. We also have the buyback blockout period that's kind of ending for companies, and they're able to start buying back stock, and that's going to start rolling through as we go through these companies. So you'll see a lot of that happening too. And there's my argument that bond yields are going to start to drop as people start to buy bonds as a hedge. Especially, I think they're going to do this with the election, maybe heading into the election. If they think Trump's going to win, they actually have faith in the bond market because of Doge and Elon's ability to create greater efficiency in government and make it to where people don't worry about the bonds not being paid back, in 20 years. So that's kind of important, right? You want to know that you're getting paid back. So I think we're going to see this come crashing down in the not too distant future. This blue line right here, the 10-year Treasury yield will drop as people buy more bonds because Trump is in office. Is that a good explanation? I think so. And I talked about how PE ratios can be higher right now because the companies are just more valuable and pulling in more money. We talked about the death of the euro and how the euro was supposed to be the killer of the dollar, which is funny. It's kind of like BRICS right now with the renminbi. Isn't it cute? Oh, look at the little renminbi. Come here, little renminbi. You're so adorable. You're so cute down here. And euro just bleeding out as far as international trade. And then the dollar getting stronger than it's been since 2012. So, oh no, guys, the dollar's dying. Oh no. Probably not true. More seasonality stuff. That was that. Let's go over here. We're going to jump over to Tesla for a bit, and then we'll get back to Bitcoin. Oh, we got Elon on the prowl talking about election interference. I think I put this one in the wrong place, so I'll move that. We got breaking Soros-backed Philadelphia DA sues Elon Musk to stop the $1 million giveaway. Not a lot of love for Elon Musk, even though he's talking about building a factory in the state. We've got Oppenheimer analyst Colin Rush. Let's listen to him talk about Tesla for the next 5 minutes. He basically says they don't need a low-end vehicle to grow. I think it's a great interview. Let's listen to it.
More on Tesla, Colin Rush, Oppenheimer senior research analyst. I thought it was somewhat disappointing, some of the stuff that we heard from Tesla. Why did the stock perform so well? I guess it's in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah, there's a couple of things. One, the gross margins on the auto side were better than expected, and it's
slightly 35% on the energy side of things too.
It's pretty clear that the company is self-sustaining from a cash flow perspective, and as they continue to grow as an EV maker, and we continue to be very bullish about their EV technology, it extends the runway on their ability to deliver on the autonomy opportunity. And while we have some caution around that,
is this an AI version of Colin?
Autonomous technology, I think folks started giving them a lot more credit for that runway and their ability to deliver on that promise.
Colin, if you were just looking at...
So basically, people trust Tesla and think that they're going to make a bunch of money from it. And so they're buying the stock because they're like, God, you'd have to be an idiot not to buy the stock right now. And so that's what's happening.
The prospects for selling cars, selling Teslas here around the world for premium prices. I mean, that part of it is it? Would that cause you to buy the stock here? I mean, and even some of the profit being so profitable, but a lot of it had to do with that pure profit the company gets from selling those environmental credits to other automakers.
Oh, let's not focus on that. That's just icing on the cake at this point.
Yeah, I mean, when we look at it, it was, about a little less than $800 million in credit revenue that they had in the quarter. And so there's a meaningful contribution to their net income from those credits. And that comes from multiple geographies. But at the end of the day, we look at least half, if not more, of the value being ascribed to their AI opportunity, and particularly autonomy as the first application within that AI bucket. And so for us, the EV opportunity is meaningful. They're executing on it well. They continue to drive costs lower and have great products. But the AI, bucket of profit pool that they're trying to dip into here is really what's driving the value in the stock. And we think they're further off from actually being able to deliver on that than what the stock is saying at this point.
If it does go, Colin, to, and I think that, we were
speed him up.
We were a little bit surprised maybe that 30 trillion, that someone would even mention that number for what the company could be worth. And then Andrew said, well, why stop at 30, right? I don't know. You
30 trillion.
figure that's like Austin Powers.
Like terminal value?
Why talk about trillions when you can talk about billions? But how much, what would that entail? How much would be the car business to get to anywhere, let's say a multiple of what the market cap is right now? How much of that will still be electric cars, and how much of it is going to be everything else that gets under the Tesla umbrella?
No.
We're really looking at the potential for them to grow into, $5 to $6 of earnings by 2027, 2028. And so if you put a multiple on that in the high teens, you can get yourself into the $100, maybe $120 range for the stock. We're looking at the energy storage business at worth $20 to $30. And then the balance of the stock price here is really being driven by the AI potential. And they certainly have a very capable engineering team that's working on these opportunities. But it really comes down to when and what the competitive environment looks like. And right now, from a regulatory perspective, they're certainly behind. From a cars on the road perspective, they have more vehicles on the road, but not vehicles that are actually, driving themselves.
Dude.
And so the testing process is going to take a fair amount of time
They basically are.
before they can actually start monetizing that in a real way.
No.
What about China, competition from China? How's that going to play out? Does it matter who's elected?
At this point, you look back at history and look at what happened with Japanese automakers, Korean automakers. You really end up having to make vehicles locally in domestic markets. And so the question is, what's the technology underlying that? And we're seeing the OEMs in both Europe and the U.S. make significant investments on driving cost reduction. And I think limiting some of the competition. I think the European market is a real example of what may happen, where we see BYD starting to penetrate that market.
No, that's not happening here. We're not going to allow it.
In a little bit bigger way, but starting to actually manufacture in Eastern Europe and Turkey. In the U.S., I think it's going to be hard, in this political environment to really see, Chinese automakers start to penetrate this market.
Germany's already dying from having China in theirs, and they're desperately trying to kill it. That's why they're incentivizing gas vehicles right now, diesel vehicles, is because they don't want to have Chinese EVs destroying their German manufacturers, which they're doing. So there are going to be heavy tariffs that are going to be coming eventually here from the United States and Europe. They'll have to, just to keep them out of their markets.
In a timely fashion, that would start to take share from some of the existing manufacturers that are already here.
Did you know he was going to say no $25,000 car? We're just going to go straight to the.
I think we already understood that at the point that they said we're going to go to the version V2.5 and kind of get halfway there on the existing platform. It just doesn't make sense for them to go to that low end vehicle, especially when you can start monetizing some of the ADAS functionality at a little bit higher rate. I don't think they really need to drop down to those price levels to continue to grow. And we actually had units.
Yeah, so he's like, I don't know. He's trying to be like middle of the road, but he sucks. So whatever, it's way more bullish than what he just talked about. Roy says then they blame it on the farmers. Yeah, right. So they basically incentivize gas again, and then they're like, these farmers and their cows. Frederick, in Germany are no Chinese cars. You don't want that. They destroy your market. You can't have it. Yeah, that's good. They probably tariff it. They need to tariff it a lot. Nobody should buy those cars. It's a very bad idea. Now, let me go back here. I'm going to stay under Tesla, I think. Oh, let me hit the right button here. 1 second. Let me go back to Zoom. So, yeah, tomorrow, guys. PayPal earnings bright and early in the morning. So, join me on the morning show for that. We'll watch PayPal, and then we might hop over and take a look at what's going on with SoFi. But it's going to be a very good earnings, I believe. Let me hop over here to bookmarks. Get back over to Tesla. Make sure we're not missing anything else that we need to be looking at. And if I'm missing any news, guys, please let me know. Looks like my connection's dropping here. Elon hints at a new Tesla Gigafactory to be in Pennsylvania. I love that. Let's listen real quick here.
Hi, Elon. My name is Molly. I just want to thank you for spending so much time in Pennsylvania. I think what you're doing is amazing, and it's making a real impact. So God bless you.
Thank you.
And I think you're a national treasure.
Thank you.
My main concern is with the national debt, and I know you talked a lot about reducing the spending side, but I was wondering what kind of Trump policies and industries you think will help grow the revenue side. And along those lines, do you have any plans to bring more Tesla manufacturing back to the U.S.?
Well, Tesla actually is a massive manufacturer in the U.S. In fact, the biggest factory that's been built in recent years is the Tesla factory in Texas. And then there's another big factory in Nevada. So there's Giga Nevada, Giga Texas, and maybe someday Giga Pennsylvania. So that would be super cool. I'm a huge believer in manufacturing. I love manufacturing. I like making things. I've spent a lot of time in the factory, walking the floor. I lived in the factory for a while, literally lived in the factory. Kind of like Vegas, actually, because I didn't even see the outside. But the lights were always on. We had some tough times at Tesla. It's really difficult to make any kind of manufacturing company work. Tesla's actually also the biggest manufacturing employer in California.
He's just so much happier than he used to be.
Still, but the state is not super grateful. But yeah, I'm a big, so we do a ton of manufacturing in the U.S., and we keep investing and increasing our manufacturing activity in the U.S. And SpaceX also is a massive manufacturer. SpaceX is the biggest manufacturer of rockets and satellites in the world, and that's all in the U.S. So SpaceX manufacturing is all in the U.S. And Tesla has massive amounts of manufacturing in the U.S., like giant factories. So I'm a big believer in manufacturing. I mean, I do think reform of the tax code would make sense because it's extremely complicated and there are too many loopholes. I'm often pitched on these loopholes. That's how I know they exist. And I'm like, that sounds pretty shady. I don't think we should do that. They're like, well, lots of other people are getting away with it. And we're like, yeah, but I still don't think we should do it. Yeah, for what it's worth, I'm the largest individual taxpayer in history. I paid $10 billion in tax, over $10 billion in tax. You're welcome.
It was like 11.2, Elon. Get it right.
Like, I sort of...
He's probably going to pay 25 this year because of options that are getting ready to expire.
I thought maybe the IRS would, like, send me like a little trophy or something, like one of those, like, doesn't have to be expensive. It could be like, one of those like things you get for when kids win a karate competition, like little plastic gold trophy or something like that, or a cookie or something. But I didn't get anything. And it's like, but I was happy to pay the taxes. I don't mind. The stock market's a wild sort of roller coaster. I think Warren Buffett's got a lot of good sayings actually. But one of his sayings, I believe, is like, having a publicly traded company is like having someone stand outside your house and yell house prices all day. And it's still the same house. And you're like, wow, why is this person yelling house prices at me all day long? That's what it's like being in a publicly traded company. They just yell stock prices at you all day long. And it's like, well, it's actually still pretty much the same company as yesterday. It's kind of weird being in.
I love Elon Musk. He's so right. Real quickly, for the person who asked about PayPal, it's bullish as fuck. If I just look at these 4 monthly candles, look at this. Massive bounce off of peak volume. This downward trend line pops above it, gets right up here to resistance again, gets rejected down, closes the month above it, not just above it, but bullishly above it, recesses again, bounces up, comes back a little bit, drops again, bounces up, sitting above the next fib line. And we're a couple of days away from the end of the month, and we've got earnings tomorrow. This isn't 3 white soldiers. This is like 3.5. I mean, this is a beautiful technical pattern that looks like it wants to explode up into the 90s. I think we're getting ready to make a lot of money off of PayPal. If you've got 2026 calls, I think they're going to pay out quite handedly. That's my take.
In a publicly traded situation. But anyway, I think we should simplify the tax code, get rid of a lot of exceptions and loopholes, and make it easy to fill out taxes. It shouldn't be this like extremely complicated thing. Overall, I think if we have less federal spending, then there is less taxation. We have to reduce federal spending. Or there's no way to make up for it other than reducing the federal spending. As I mentioned earlier, like a very important point that I think is important for people to understand is that all federal spending is taxation, because what they don't receive, what the federal government doesn't receive in direct revenue, they make up for in inflation. They just print money. So all federal spending is taxation. Very important principle. Almost nobody, very few people seem to, so he's like.
Yeah, and normally they like to keep the inflation at a low enough level where you don't pay attention to it until you're too old to get angry about it. They want you to be retired and then realize you've been screwed your whole life by this system that's been taking advantage of you. So that's normally what they want to have happen. But when they have to print too much money, it makes you aware of the fact that they're stealing from you, and that isn't ideal. They would rather have you not realize it. So that's the important part for the government. And they haven't been doing a good job of that, which is why Trump's going to win. And you should watch what happened. You should watch what happened at Madison Square Garden. That thing was epic. It's the most epic political event I've ever witnessed in my lifetime.
Spend their life in economics. I'll mention to them, hey, all federal spending is taxation.
Sure.
They're like, first they'll argue with me, and they're like, then they will agree. It is. Because it is either direct tax revenue or it is inflation. All federal spending is taxation. We must reduce federal spending or we will go bankrupt as a country.
Recently, I was reading an article on Medium where an Italian researcher named Andrea Rossi was able to demonstrate a new technology that he invented that was able to extend the range of an electric vehicle. It was technically like a quadricycle, so a very low power electric vehicle by 4 times. And after the full test, it had actually increased the battery life of the electric vehicle. And obviously, it's only been demonstrated once. We don't know if this technology could be replicated, but if it was able to be replicated, would you be interested in implementing this kind of technology into your Tesla vehicles and even possibly the Starship?
Well, I wish such a thing were real, but I do not think that such a thing is real. There is, every industry has a certain amount of BS. The battery industry, I think, is a candidate for industry with the most amount of BS. So it's just
totally fake.
Like electrochemistry is very difficult. In fact, one of the ways that I will test the intelligence of an AI system is ask it battery electrochemistry questions and rocket questions, and usually comes back with terrible answers. It's extremely difficult to increase the range, but the range is already sufficient to fully electrify everything on Earth. Teslas have over 300 miles of range, and some of them have like 400 miles of range. We could actually make it go further. It's just that that's like an unnecessary amount of battery for most people, because the amount of range that you need in a battery is about the same amount of range that your bladder has, essentially. If you start a trip at say 9 a.m., around noon, you want to probably hit the restroom, take a break, have a bite to eat. So you drive for 3 hours, maybe 4 hours, and then charge the car. As long as the car is charged by the time you come back from the bathroom and had lunch or whatever, then long distance trips are no problem. So we're already there at this point. There is no magical breakthrough.
Would you also be willing, if other technologies are discovered over the next few years into the near future, would you also be willing to, that theoretically could revolutionize electrical vehicles, space travel, exotic propulsion, exotic energy generation techniques? Are you interested in researching those and potentially funding them and contributing to this kind of research? I do think there is a lot of technology out there that is not really mainstream, that it has potential. Although it's in a very infantile stage, I think there is potential.
Both Tesla and SpaceX are desperately interested in anything that works. We're not barring the door. We're like, please, if you got something that works, tell us about it. Unfortunately, it's rarely the case that it actually works, is the issue. For a while there, Tesla, I guess we'd rate any given proposed new technology out of 10, where 10 is incredible, and 1 is total nonsense, and really nothing got above a 4. So it's just very difficult to do. I would encourage anyone to say, prove me wrong. Please do that. I would like to be proven wrong. That would be awesome.
Tweet on X.
Yeah, but just compete with Tesla. If there's some technology that has much greater range, I would strongly recommend they just kick our ass. I don't want to tempt fate, but nobody has successfully hacked SpaceX or Starlink. Every day there are thousands of attempts to hack Starlink, and no one has succeeded. Again, I don't want to tempt fate here, so this is not a tempt. I'm not saying to hacker groups out there, please hack Starlink. Please don't hack Starlink. But thus far, there have been many attempts by individuals and state actors to hack into Starlink, and none of them have been successful. So track record thus far is pretty good. No one has successfully hacked into, so far so good. Don't want to be complacent or anything. No one has hacked into the Tesla mothership, like the Tesla core database. Many people have tried to hack into the Tesla core database. 0 successes.
Very cool. I don't know. That was kind of fascinating. I don't know how much we learned from that, but I enjoyed it. Let's see, reposting this article as some seem to forget what the current administration did to Elon at Tesla these past years. You guys own this. Alexander Mers, also known as Tesla Boomer Mama, who we love very much so. It says, coordinated political pressure and legal actions against Tesla since Elon's Twitter acquisition. The acquisition of Twitter and this is it's a huge article, but it's just bullshit, right? They go after him incessantly. Also, AI, Grok, got better today. It can ingest pictures and take input. You can see where Amit says, holy crap, Grok is becoming so impressive. Today, AI announced image recognition within milliseconds, literally milliseconds of me uploading a picture. I got a very accurate answer from Grok. I still feel Tesla and xAI will have synergies, and these guys are moving fast. Yes, that's true. He said, what is happening in this picture? In this picture, it appears that someone is conducting a live stream or online meeting focused on financial markets or trading. Here are the key observations. I mean, this is great, right? So Grok is just going to get smarter, right? We know this. Grok now understands images, even explaining the meaning of a joke. This is an early version. It will rapidly improve. We've got To the Stars from Elon Musk. It says a shining light against the darkness. I love this kind of stuff. Space has intrigued me since I was a little kid and watching E.T. for the first time. And so many other, movies in the 80s where we were promised, to be able to reach out to the stars. And now we're actually doing it. Tesla Chan, famous for Tesla data, he gives us the Tesla China insured unit numbers every week, said this next week is going to be great. China's so strong. So we'll see if that comes to fruition, but that's what he's saying. All right, I think that's it for that. Since I screwed up my bookmark, we'll go back and look to see if there's any other news. If you guys have requests, throw them out. Ford lost, for 30 days on electric vehicles in the past quarter. They lost $400 million every 30 days on electric vehicles over the last quarter. So their electric vehicle division is done, is what you're saying. Chad Ventures, if you could almost be certain that PayPal flies tomorrow, why not buy stock after hours on trade? I own $600,000 in calls. Is that not enough? No, and this is one account, dude. I've got 610,000 in calls here, and I've got more in another account. So I probably got at least $650,000 to $700,000 in PayPal calls. I feel like this is enough. Isn't this enough? I'm going to say it's enough. All right. Terry Sharp, I could listen to Elon all day. Always interesting and insightful. I agree if you listen to him. Very much that. Kamawa says, iCAD, please. Sure. Since you asked so nicely, I guess you're the first. Again, guys, don't miss tomorrow morning for PayPal earnings. Should be a blast. All right, let's look at iCAD. Transmedics down bad after hours. Not enough people in... What does Transmedics do? I mean, transport medic stuff like ambulance? I don't know. Just guessing. All right, iCAD. It's a $51 million market cap. Enterprise value is 31. They lose money all the time. They're losing revenue. They're diluting shares. Not as much recently. They do have money. They've got cash, 20 million. Not a big number. Their expenses are going down. They're trying. It looks like they're trying to become cash flow positive. There's like a hint of profitability here. Their insiders have been buying back stock the last several years. Institutional ownership's been falling recently. There's not a lot of short interest. There's nothing impressive about the future estimates. I don't know why anybody would want to own this. I don't see anything super exciting about it. Shayna left chat earlier. Maybe you've answered this. Any investments in lithium? Nah, I don't think lithium's a good thing to be invested in at all. There's this index over here. Let's see. It's like electric vehicle. Where is it? Indexes, commodities. Commodities, utilities, economic, energy, precious metals. Ooh, maybe in there. Lithium futures. All right, we can look here. So if you just look at lithium, does that look like something that's going to make you a lot of money? I mean, it seemed really good up here. But if you look down here, not so good. Not so good. Not a great looking chart. If anything, it seems like there's a lot of lithium competition and there isn't a lot of electric vehicle companies outside of Tesla that are real and can make money. And so they don't have an incentive to produce cars. So I don't like the idea of buying lithium. I think there's probably an abundance. And I think Tesla will benefit from this greatly. Volkswagen is closing 3 factories in Europe due to low demand for its vehicles. I know, isn't that sad? That's what happens, though. There is no competition to Tesla, just like there's no competition to SpaceX. Paul Hoger says LRCX. That does ring a bell. Lamb. You guys talk about Lamb every once in a while. So what were the estimates on this one again? So it had a hiccup. It looks like it's starting to creep back up again. EPS outside of this one anomaly looks like it's still growing. And nothing too crazy over here. Institutional ownership been in decline since 2015. That's a little weird. The short interest spiked, but nothing crazy. I don't know. So again, it's just a matter of them. And there was like a stock split or something in here. It's just a matter of them, continuing to grow. Their forward PE again, it's 21.69, whereas the current is 7. So they are a cash company, and I think they even have a dividend, don't they? They were $1 billion plus in profits last quarter. $97 billion company. That all sounds about right. Let's look over here at Lamb. You guys have anything else to talk about with Lamb? I will look it up. I don't remember if I already have this one in Discord. Oh, what is it again? LRCX. Oh, no, wrong button. Get out of here. Stupid meme thing. Oh, I love Max, but there's a few things I don't like. All right. Yeah, PayPal looks so jacked and ready to go tomorrow, guys. I feel like 96 is not far away. It just really seems good. Lamb was down 2.87 today. I said technically it looked like we could be at a triple bottom over here. You want to hope that, because if it goes down for a fourth attempt, it's probably going to go lower. It would go into like the 68, really to maybe 63, 62 range right in here before it hits support. So you want to hope this thing starts turning around soon. Otherwise, it could just dive right back down. All right, Dan Margot, PCAR, if you have time. PCAR. All right, and before I get too deep down the rabbit hole, let me just go over here and see if it's even worth looking up. PCAR. Pakar. All right, so we were rolling over, now we're rolling back up. So it's good that we're starting to pick up again. Institutional ownership appears to start turning higher. Nothing crazy on the rest of it. Excuse me. Almost $1 billion in net income off of a $56 billion market cap, $47 billion enterprise. This is a pretty good forward PE. What business sector is this? Agricultural machinery in Bellevue, Washington. I wonder what happened with their operating expenses. They definitely went down a lot. I like that they're cash flow positive. I mean, having a bunch of cash never hurts as a company. Ooh, they got a lot of bonds now. So they dumped their debt and now have $9.1 billion in bonds just collecting interest. That's probably not a bad idea. That's a good utilization of cash right now. I think that's probably going to work out really good for them as long as they don't need the money right away. And even then, I think the values are going to go up. They do a massive dilution every quarter, and it's always in Q1, so that kind of sucks, right? So you kind of want to keep an eye on that because you know you're going to get screwed right around Q1. So 0.04% stock-based comp, but over here you get this big spike. I don't know why it says 0.04. Oh, I guess it is still a low number. Oh, this is goofy in the way it's reporting. Yeah, I guess it's not a crazy number either way. It just looks abnormal because of the size of the data. But yeah, this isn't a bad-looking company. It's just you normally want to see growth, more growth. So the P, it's probably pretty fairly valued here, but it could go higher. Dario, what is the opening time for PayPal tomorrow? What time is earnings tomorrow? Let's ask. Let's see here. What time is PayPal earnings tomorrow? I think it's right. I think they released the data at the bell. Or maybe just an hour earlier, probably East Coast time. It says 7 a.m. Eastern. Is that right? No, that's the previous one. I don't know. If you guys figure it out, let me know. Otherwise, I'll check in the morning. I will tell you in the stream in the morning for sure. All right. Let me see here. Jur on X says, you should write Kamala and translate from Finnish to English and see the result. You might enjoy it. I'm afraid to. Okay. Hello, BTC Fresh Highs. Nice. What do you mean? We're going up? Are we going up? Let's see here. That was PayPal down below. What did we get to? 69,971. That is definitely... I mean, it's at the door, guys. We're definitely trying to break through. 973 or 97, gosh, almost 70K. It's really hard to see exactly where it landed. Let me go back here. Let me go to the 4 hour. I mean, technically, did we get 70K? Did we hit it? Seems like we got real close. Dude, we did. If we didn't hit it, we were super close. I'm counting it. So this is a great retrace. This is beautiful. This is what you want to see, guys. This is not a bad thing at all. All right, Tesla Future, would you like to have a look at HIMS? Sure, we can look at HIMS. When is earnings for HIMS? Let me see. Did that just happen? I can't remember. Let's go over here. Earnings, November 4th, post-market. Okay, so they're coming up in a week. I mean, if they can just do what they say they're going to do, then they're going to be good. If they can't, the PE ratio, the forward is 52 and the current is 308. So it could get smacked around if they don't hit their objectives. If they do hit their objectives, it's probably going to do really good. So we'll know in a week for sure, but let's take a look at the technicals. But the financials, I mean, I don't know. This seems like a launch. RJ Cohen. Are you upgrading? I see you as an alpha male female. Thank you very much, sir. All right, so yeah, just looking at it. If we do this, let me see here real quick. We could look at this in a number of ways, right? Let's try it this way. I don't know. It seems to me like we're in launch. Honestly. Seems like we're in launch mode. It seems like really it's just a matter of getting to 36. That's a huge number, but yeah, I don't know. It seems like we're in launch mode. If they have good numbers, we're in launch mode. Let me save this real quick. I'm sure I have this out there shared. Yes, I do. Okay, great. All right. Lim Jingyun, Amazon and Netflix, please. Hoping to add them in the long run. Yes, I can look at Amazon. I don't know how to feel about Amazon and Netflix right now. I mean, I think they're going to do fine. They're just such large caps. I would say Amazon did a good job bouncing hard off of 151 and coming back up. Again, I was shorting this thing like over here or something, and that turned out good. I made money off it. Not as much as I wanted to because it just didn't happen quick enough. But yeah, we got down to 81, and now we've gotten all the way to 200. That's pretty amazing. It's quite the bounce. This thing can go higher, though. They keep beating expectations. They have a massive amount. What do they have in bonds right now? I haven't looked at them in a while. Let's take a look. We got earnings coming up on Thursday anyway. Intel on Discord discussing it, down 62% in triple-digit earnings next year. Also discussion around the CHIP Act, possible asymmetrical move. 6.2 or 62. Those are different numbers. Yeah, we could take a look. All right, so let's see, how much cash do we have? Only 18 billion in bonds and 71 billion in cash. Why? Why, oh why, Amazon, do you not own some Bitcoin or have some more bonds? I mean, yeah, that's still crazy. You can see where they accumulated a lot of debt. When there is a slowdown, their physical business is devastating to them. Only now have they started their R&D again. Look at how long they turned it off because of this debt route that they had. But they're making money again. They made $13.5 billion in net income last quarter. That's not a bad number. Projections are okay. Again, I want to see how they do for the quarter, and if they assert guidance any higher. That's really the big stuff we want to know. We'll dig into more of this on come earnings day. But yeah, it looks okay. It looks like it's set to launch, honestly. Probably skip Netflix now. I might take a break here. I will look at Intel real quick. Let me just see how badly. See, here's the thing, guys. I just did some posts where I talked about how Intel's just getting 8. It's getting 8. AMD is doing well. I mean, okay, good. NVIDIA is doing amazing, exceptional. And Intel's just dying. And it doesn't seem like there's any talent there. It doesn't seem like they're competent. And I don't know, it can bounce. There's a huge gap over here up between now and here in 29. But this is just such a shitty company. Such a horrifically bad company. I mean, look at this chart. This thing is down. I just want to be clear here. This thing is down 69, almost 70% from where it was in 2000, the dot-com bubble. Okay? Do you get that? Do you get how bad that is? It had one resurgence in like around the pandemic, and then it's just been devastated ever since. It's a horrible company. I want to like this company, but it sucks. It's a shitty company. And I don't believe in the existing CEO. That somebody probably needs to fire him. And I don't know. They remind me of like Boeing. You know, that's the quality we're getting out of Intel lately. For at least like the innovation's horrible. I shouldn't call them Boeing. Boeing is like the worst of the worst, but but I just don't have any faith in this company. I don't. They need to prove a lot. This could have been a beautiful cup and handle, or like W-ish bottom, right? These two double, like the down here where you got the W. This could have been like a cup and handle if it went to here. I used to think that it was going to be a cup and handle. Look at how much worse it's gotten. And there's just nothing positive happening for them. Dan24 up. Rumor Intel may be bought by Apple if Trump wins, since chips will have to be made in the States. I mean, if Apple needs them, I don't know. Is there anything to really buy from Intel? RJ Cohen, Boeing sucks with their DEI. They do. You are welcome, sir. 301% increase in earnings projected for 2025. Is that what they're looking at? Let's look over here. I haven't looked at their actual guidance. Should probably start there. I just hate the chart so bad on this one, but maybe you'll turn me around. I mean, this isn't much better. So the guidance I can see doesn't look great. Thoughts on MicroStrategy? Oh, I mean, 300's probably like inevitable, right? I mean, what's my target for MicroStrategy? I think, did I say 1,000? My target for MicroStrategy is between 860 and 1550. That's my target for MicroStrategy. I think that it like the 850 to 1,000 though is probably like the key range for me. So 300, yeah, 300's pretty easy. That's happening like, I mean, 282 is happening, or 285 is happening like now. And then the next fib is 395. And look at this. I got to redraw these because look at how quickly we've come up. There's a lot of money that's going to be made on this. A lot. So again, sitting pretty good. Sitting pretty good on MicroStrategy. If you bought that, you're doing all right. I still think we're headed higher too. I think we're going to 386 at least before any kind of real retracement. We might even go to 540 without a major retracement. It's possible. Wouldn't that be crazy? Maybe 500. $1,000 and the 3x nav on 100,000 BTC is are they 3x nav now? Probably. Isn't that crazy? I think they could do 3.5. Probably a little early. Oh, it's 2.951. I mean, that's still pretty bad. This would be a good time for, if you just look here, look at this. Look at this. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. If you look here, This is probably like the perfect time for Michael Saylor to dump on stockholders and get a bunch of Bitcoin. It's like the perfect time. I would do it. And then the Bitcoin will go up in value and he'll just make more money. Swag Noir says, hey, Jesse, can you take a look at CPRI amid thoughts? Dropped 50% last week because their merger was blocked. I might later. I feel like with stuff like that, I feel like I need to, I mean, obviously from a technical standpoint, you have the ability to close a huge gap. But I need to understand a lot more about the fundamentals of a company before I go into something like that. RJ Cohen said, I bought 2 contracts of Intel June 18th, 2026, 35 calls just for fun. Intel is a gamble. CEO is a mess, I think. Yeah, I agree. So you're right. That could be like something where it turns out really good. There are massive government contracts, but again, with Trump's recent comments about the CHIPS Act, are some of these going to be revised to go to companies that will actually do what the government needs and hit timelines and make shit happen? I think so. Anyway. All right, I think that's probably it for today, guys. I think we're going to call it. I don't think it was a bad day. Tesla's down 80,000 in this one. But again, up 56 in PayPal, making up for all the pain along with all of the Bitcoin miners outperforming today. CleanSpark up 44,000, Bitfarms up 17, Iron up 19 almost, Mara up 21. It was just a Bitcoin miner day. I do need more MSTU. If we get a big crush in MicroStrategy because he finally sells, then we'll take a look at it. We'll have to do Matango. We'll do that one tomorrow. I'll try and do more tickers tomorrow. I'm going to try and shorten up the stream, really streamline conversations about news, and I'm going to try and get better at that. And then look at more tickers, especially since I haven't done too many over the weekend. But yeah, guys, I'd still say a good day. Probably up 130 today. Can't shake a stick at it, and I've got at least 12,000 in TLT to be able to buy that dip. Yep, almost 13,000 in TLT. So if we get a little dip tomorrow, maybe I'll do some shopping. But otherwise, I think we're going to make a lot of money tomorrow too. I think PayPal is going to get sick. I think that's going to be like that shot in the arm that we just got with Tesla, where we're just going to make a bunch of money in a short period of time, and that's going to allow us to buy our other favorite things. So we're going to have a really good time with it. Again, I'm just going to go back over here. Let's find something to watch. We got Gary Gensler. We got Wind Moon Remix. You know what? It feels like a Wind Moon day. Let's go out that way. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. See ya in the morning for PayPal.
Coming in hot. Whoa, no seatbelts. Whoa.
All right, I already like this one. I'm going to be including it. We'll see if I might get messed with on this one for copyright, and then they might block me, in which case I won't be able to do this again. But if they don't block me, I'm totally going to be playing this one because I love this N-Word in Paris song is one of my favorites. So we might be listening to this again.
Lil Bubble, let me ride that rocket.
All around me are my heavy shit coins.
Oh, I love it. They're doing a couple different songs. I love it.
No more Bitcoin, no more Bitcoin. Spent it all on Tron, I have weak hands though. Where's my Lambo? Where's my Lambo? And I find it kind of funny, I find it kind of sad. The Ponzi's I've been buying are the worst that ever crashed. I find it hard to sell them, I find them hard to hold. I joined the Telegram to ask the question, tell me when moon, when moon, when moon, when moon. My name is Lil Bubble. Enchanté. I just hopped in my rocket and flew a long, long way. Your boy is just a meme, a little space man. But this stage is so far away from my base. Damn, that's okay, cause today we'll blast away. S'il vous plaît, excuse my French, but I'm in France. Yeah, I'm just saying. Look up, see all these planets flying past me. And everywhere I go, the people wanna ask me when moon, when moon,
ride that rocket.